everyone, this is Valter from Zelcore Flux Dev Team, and as promised today I'm going to make a quick test video on what could be the cheapest mini computer that you can buy to run a FluxNode at home. In this case, I have here, it's a Chuwi Herobox mini PC with the Intel Celeron J4125, 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of SSD storage. You can find these on Amazon and other sites for around $180, in Europe for around 190 euros. If you can find this specific Chuwi mini PC, you will find lots of other Chinese manufacturers that have the same kind of hardware. What you need to check, if just do a search for the processor, the J4125 Celeron, and you will find lots of mini PCs with the same kind of hardware. What you need to be careful is, if you don't find this one, if it have 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, SSD or NVMe. If it has another kind of storage, it will not pass the benchmarks for the FluxNode. So this will be a really quick video just showing testing this mini computer on the Flux bench on the testnet that we have for Flux. Also, something that I'm already going to tell you is that I'm going to install on this the Ubuntu desktop operating system, not the server version, because on the server version I didn't manage to make the Ethernet work, only the Wi-Fi. But on the desktop version of Ubuntu, after you do all the updates on the latest Ubuntu to version 20.04 for long-term support, after the update, the Ethernet is recognized and it works without any issue. I can get 1 gigabyte connection on this box, okay? So this is the part that I want to explain you, how cheap it is, and you can run this from home. And also the most important that I'm already going to tell them this part is the low power consumption. I have got on this Chuwi between 2 watts and 5 watts. When it was in full load, it went to 12 watts, but most of the time it was between 2 and 5 watts. That is lower or equal what I have got with the Raspberry Pi 4B. So it's impressive, and it's a normal computer that can be used later on as a normal computer if you don't want to plan to use a FluxNode on it anymore. So let's do the installation very fast and show the test, the benchmark tests on this machine, just to confirm if it passed the benchmarks to run as a FluxNode, a Cumulus FluxNode. So stay tuned. Okay, let's power up the machine, and I already have a keyboard, the mouse attached, and the USB flash drive with the Ubuntu desktop to install on the machine. Sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm going to press delete to go to the BIOS several times. There is almost no options in here. I'm just going to the save and setup and boot override on the UFI, the SanDisk USB flash drive, to boot up from this one instead of Ubuntu that I already have installed previous, just to confirm it was working or not. So let's do the installation. Ubuntu. Okay, let's choose uh, install Ubuntu, and I will choose the English language. After the keyboard, I choose my country, keyboard style, Portuguese. Continue. Now you need to connect to your Wi-Fi. It will not work to Ethernet as default. Like I said, only after all the updates are installed to Ethernet connection it will work. So I will connect to one of my Wi-Fi. Okay, in here I'm going to choose the minimal installation, and yes, I want to download the updates while installing Ubuntu. Okay, in here it already detected I already have Ubuntu installed, and what do I want to do on your in your first install? If you go check the Flux Node self-hosting video guide, you will see what you will have to choose. Basically, you have to choose on a normal installation that you want to use the entire disk and remove the option from to use LVM partition. On this case, because I already have Ubuntu installed, the installation guide is different. In this case, I just select in here, erase disk and install Ubuntu, and install now. Okay, it's saying that it's going to be formatted, everything. Yes, continue. And final thing and most important, where are you? You need to select a country where the decimal separator is a dot, or the Flux bench will not work properly. So I suggest you to select something from United States. Okay, I'm going to say that I am on New York. Okay, so choose some country that have the dot as decimal separator. Now your name. In this part, it's the same as installing Windows or any other operating system. You choose what is the username that you want, your name, what is the computer name, is how it's going to show up on as a host name on the network, what is the username for the login. I'm going to put FluxNode. I suggest you to use a normal username that you are used to use, and so you don't forget username and the password. Okay. Okay, require my password to log in. No, I'm going to say that I want to log in automatically every time to Windows Node. Sorry, to Ubuntu. If I reboot the server or something like that. So let's press continue. Okay, in the installation it will now start. It will take some time. I will skip it and resume when it's done. Okay, the installation process have finished, took about 5 to 10 minutes, I don't know. It's saying to restart now. Going to restart it. Now it's telling me that I need to remove the installation media. So the USB flash storage removed, press enter. Okay, Ubuntu is installed. So Ubuntu desktop is installed. I'm not going to connect to any account. Next. No, I don't want to send any information. No privacy, location, done. Okay, first thing that I do is open terminal and I'm going to update to Ubuntu, see if there is update still to be installed. It's asking for my password that I have set for my username. Okay, it's done. Now instead of update, I'm going to use the upgrade. Epsilon. And as you can see, it's installing several updates. I also received the notification there is a software updater ready to be installed. Let's wait for this one to finish first. Okay, it has finished. If I didn't add another update to install, I would just launch in here a reboot, sudo reboot, but because there is another install in here telling me to be done, I'm going to install it. Let's see. Okay, it's asking for my password. Okay, it's installing. Okay, the update is finished and now it's telling me that it needs to restart the Ubuntu. Let's restart it. Okay, the server have rebooted and now something that I also always do is when I install the desktop version install of the server, I install the Open SSS server so I can SSH from my other computers to this one, and I can use these little computers headless, not connected to a monitor, that also saves energy. So sudo apt install open ssh server. Checking for my password. Yes. Okay, I will also install curl because it's needed for the FluxNode installation script, and on the Ubuntu desktop minimal version it doesn't come pre-installed. Okay, it's already installed, and now I will get my IP address from here. So it's this one, and now I will shut down the monitor and I will continue from my laptop the installation of the testnet, FluxNode testnet, and see what are the results from the bench. Hey guys, so now I will SSH to the Chuwi mini computer. I already set up here and on mobile extern to connect to it. I already have done it, so it will not ask for my password because I already saved it. Now that I am connected, I am going to follow the instructions to run a FluxNode on testnet that are on our Discord. On the testnet section, there is a testnet instructions that I'm not going to show them. I'm going to be really fast doing here what is needed. Okay, so do su to move to the root user. Okay, now script, press 1, install Docker. What is the username? I will put the same username that I have installed the Ubuntu, that I am running the Ubuntu, FluxNode. Okay, I'm going to pause and resume when it's finished. Okay, as you can see, the Docker installation has finished with success. Let's switch to the user account again. I'm again on the FluxNode user. Now I'm going to run a specific test for, a specific script for testnet. Okay, it's asking if this is the port that I'm using. Say yes. Okay, it's asking for the private key. I have the Zelcore specific for testnet in here. I'm just going to use one of these nodes on testnet that I have in here. Private key, collateral, just click, automatically copy to the clipboard, and it is one. Okay, I will pause and resume later. Okay, it's asking for my Zell ID. Let's grab it from my test account here on Zelcore. On apps section, Zell ID, this is Zell ID, let's put it there. Okay, and let's resume later. Okay, as you can see, it's already syncing the testnet blockchain. Let's wait a bit for it to sync. Okay, as you can see, it's already synced. So now what I'm going to do is change my router so this IP, this FluxNode can connect to the network and pass the benchmarks. So I'm going to connect my router. I'm going to put this in on English so you can understand what you are seeing. I'm going to the security section. Okay, you can do in two ways. As I already explained, you can do by setting up the port forwarding, or what I'm going to do is just set up DMZ for the IP where the FluxNode on Chuwi on testnet it's running. It's already saved. So let's go back to the install script and I will resume when it's done. Okay, the installation is complete. As you can see here, the Flux benchmark have passed. To wait to also check the results here on the testnet is Flux bench CLI, testnet, get benchmarks, benchmarks. There you have. It passed as a Cumulus node, and the RAM and the cores and the disk write speed and the EPS. As you know, the EPS that we are requiring for the node halvening on the Cumulus node, I believe is 240, I believe. So this will do the job more than enough. This Chuwi little mini PC. So to finalize, what can I tell you about this Chuwi mini box? What are the good things and bad things about it? The good things is that it can run the Cumulus node and is the cheapest mini PC that I have found. I will show you. It's currently at $180 at Amazon.com, and Good things. The power usage, it's really low. I'm getting between 2, 3, 5 watts. When it's 100% load, it gets to 12 watts, but it's always between 3, 4, 5. So it's the same almost as a Raspberry Pi. And as you know, all those ARM64 boards are currently really hard to get. And when you buy those ARM64 devices, you usually need to buy several different things to manage to get FluxNode. This is a one box that get everything you need. So you just need to plug it to the power and install the Ubuntu, install the FluxNode, and it's ready to be used. So what other things that I can mention about this that I enjoy about this Chewy? Uh, the size of the mini PC, I was expecting to be a bigger box, but it's really a good size. And regarding the box itself, now I can go to the things that I didn't like too much. The, uh, the aspect of it, I didn't enjoy too much. I think it's too much plastic. Also, other thing is that the USB ports are only 3.0. I was expecting something more recent on it. And the other thing that worried me about was that fact that I didn't manage to install Ubuntu server on this Chewy using the Ethernet cable, and only on desktop I was able to make it work, like I said on the first part, and that part I didn't like too much. But most probably on Ubuntu 22 that should be released on April, almost for sure this will already be running from Ubuntu from Ubuntu on scratch. So you don't even need any update on Ubuntu to get it to work. Uh, so more suggestions. So you can see I already have in here on Amazon. I search for this processor, the J4125, and I have sorted by price, low to high. You will see lots and lots of mini PCs with this processor. What do you need to check? In here, it's the one I have bought. It's this one. As you can see, with a $20 coupon, you get for $180 currently. But there are other from other brands. What you need to be careful if you are going to buy from another brand is you need to check if it has the 256 SSD storage, because for example this one would not work because didn't it would not have enough storage to pass the benchmarks. But I'm going to move to the next page, and let's see if I find another example that would pass the benchmarks. Let's see, this one for example, also same processor, same amount of RAM, same amount of storage. This one also the same. So as you can see, there are lots of different brands mini PCs that you can buy, and you just buy this. You don't need to buy anything else, and you can run a FluxNode from your home instead of renting a server. Uh, Other things that I would like to mention here is this Intel Celeron will pass the benchmarks, but this processor, I believe it's already from, I already have 2 or 3 years old, and there are currently new ones that you can already find in these mini computers, the Intel Celeron and 5095. Let me see the price that you can find this one. So this doesn't have enough storage. Let's see what we can find in here with this processor. Okay, this one, for example, uh, $210 around. So it's like more 30 US dollars, but you will get a much more powerful CPU that probably will have a higher reseller value in the future. So this is something that you also need to think about it when you are going to buy these little machines. I've also made a search. The difference from the 5095 and 5105 is more on the GPU. The CPU it's identical. Also, the CPU on these two Celeron processors have almost the same TDP as the J4125. So they will use the same power. Okay, so on this one, let me see what can we find in here. Price low to buy. Okay, this doesn't have enough storage. Okay, this one, let me see what you can find. So 5105 and 256 gigabytes of, in this case, is a M2 SSD storage. So the disk write speed will be higher. So with this coupon, you will get it for around 230 US dollars. Would I buy this instead of the Chuwi? Probably. Probably because I would prefer to have something more powerful than if I want later to use as a mini computer, have better performance, or if I want to sell it later, this I will probably will sell faster and with a higher value than the Chewy. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It was supposed to be just a test video, but it was much more than that. I hope you guys uh, um, like this information that I have provided here. What I want to give you is the information so that you can buy a mini computer and run a FluxNode at home instead of running a VPS that will never be yours. This you buy it and it's yours. It's your mini computer, your mini server, and you can use it later as a normal computer if you want, or if you don't want to use it later, you can sell it and make money from it. Cheers from Portugal. I hope to see you guys soon again. And something else that I want to bring on this video before I finish is how can I say it? It's a challenge. I want to you guys that are listening to these videos, start making Flux nodes installation guides in your own language. This would be really important to help the project. So I am asking all community if you can start making video guides, installation video guides for self-hosting out at home or on a rented server, so we can spread out to the most people that we can about our project and how can easily you can run a Flux node and get the passive incoming that you get from being part of this decentralized computational network that is the Web3. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.